So I woke up this morning and went into the pantry, and the first thing I saw was a half empty bag of hers pub style pretzels. And I started to cry. I've been struggling the last couple of weeks, and it all, I think, emanates from the fact that we just took our younger daughter to college and dropped Maddie off for her freshman year. And I fundamentally understand as a dad and as just sort of a person that it's a time to celebrate what has been just an incredible series of accomplishments for her, particularly over the last 4 years, and the excitement of all of these incredible opportunities and experiences that I have absolutely no doubt will be part of Maddie's future. But over the course of the last couple of weeks, I've been having a really hard time. And a hard time the likes of which I didn't have for whatever reason when my older daughter Mia left for school. Maddie and I had a different relationship than Mia and I have always had. Mia was my best friend from the time she came out. She would say things like, when she was a little kid, I love my mom, but I love my dad more. And I'd be like, shh. Maddie and I didn't have that kind of relationship. And when Maddie was a little kid, when she was a baby, we referred to her as Good Time Maddie, GTM, a nickname which I'm glad has since left her. But she was such a joy. She was the kid that you literally could wake up in the middle of the night and play with, and she would smile and she would laugh. We have this picture of her on my shoulders at Disney World when she was like 3 years old, and I remember pushing her out of the park that night in the stroller, and Mia's passed out in the stroller, and we had the blanket over the front, and Maddie's peering her head out and waving at everybody, because that was her. She was Good Time Maddie. She was the kid that never had anything but a big smile and a big laugh. And kids change, and as she started to get older, she got more serious and developed really kind of a meaningful anxiety condition. And as a dad, I didn't deal with it well. I got frustrated with Mads. We would bicker constantly. We would fight. We would argue with each other. We were not super fun to be around. And over the last few years, since Mia left for school, Maddie and my relationship has changed dramatically, in large part due to the fact that I stopped being such an ass. We have this sort of amazing transformation over the last few years, and we've spent countless hours in cars together for softball tournaments and other experiences that she's enjoyed. She started a company and asked me for some help from time to time, and those are some of my favorite moments, whether it was working on an English project with her or sitting on a bucket for I don't know how many hours while she worked on a drop ball or worked on a curve or worked on a changeup. And she left. And even before she left, as I said, over the last couple of weeks, I haven't been sleeping. I've been so nervous and feeling a sense of anxiety that I never really had before. I'm incredibly lucky. I'm married to this amazing woman whom I'm deeply and madly in love with and who I like even more. I have two outrageously cool kids who, yeah, they're like two of my best friends, but there's this mutual respect that exists. So I love them and I like them just so much. I have a job that's gratifying and that I genuinely enjoy almost every day. And I have these incredible interests outside of my family and of my work life where I get to coach these amazing young women, and I am full. My heart is full. I can't imagine being happier than I am. But over the last couple of weeks, it's been super different. I haven't been sleeping. I've been anxious. I've been crying a lot. And I can't exactly figure out what's going on. And, there are things that have always helped me in the past, exercise. So I exercised a little bit more and it wasn't making a dent. Trying to make sure I'm eating better wasn't really making a big difference. I went for a walk. One of my good buddies, Andy Abramowitz, and I try every once in a while, at least weekly, to go for a walk. He lives in the neighborhood. We go get a cup of coffee and we go for a walk. And Andy's an amazing, amazing human being. And I was telling Andy, because he's a guy that you can talk to about the struggles I was having. And Andy said something to me that stuck with me over the course of the last couple of weeks. And he said, there's two kinds of people in the world: people who struggle and liars. And that made me feel a little bit better, because notwithstanding the fact that I am as happy as I am and that I am truly feel blessed every day for the life that I haven't felt like that over the last couple of weeks. I have felt debilitatingly sad at times. So I wanted to talk about it. I think as much or more than any other reason, because I spend a lot of time talking to organizations and talking to people about the importance of mental health and about how important it is to destigmatize and to demystify the reality that we don't all feel great all the time. In fact, many of us don't feel great or even good a lot of the time. And there are these tools, the exercise, the eating better, the talking to the people in your life who really can potentially make a difference. And ultimately what I decided to do, because I haven't been able to shake it, is I reached out to the therapist who I've seen at various times in my life and who has always made a real difference in the way I felt. And I have an appointment with her and I'm going to see her this week. And do I anticipate that I'm going to feel 100% better immediately? I don't. Do I anticipate this is a little bit of a blip and that once Maddie gets settled and she's moving on in more of a routine, that I'm going to feel better? I do. But again, I wanted to make sure that as leaders, as those with management responsibilities, as humans, that we all understand that there are times where it's okay to not be okay. And that we have these people, hopefully, in our lives, for me, like my wife, Jamie, like my older daughter, Mia, who knew I was struggling and who texted me probably half a dozen times on move-in day, "Dad, you okay?" Like mental health professionals who are there to help, hopefully, get through what are complicated and challenging and trying times. It is not lost on me that the struggle that I'm having right now hardly compares to the real problems that people have for days and for weeks and for months and for years, for the entirety of their lives. But as someone who preaches repeatedly about destigmatizing mental health, about the recognition that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about, and to be kind always, as someone who recently learned that there are two kinds of people in the world, those who struggle and liars, it felt important to me for this week to have this conversation. The last couple of weeks have been hard. And on our drive home from Ann Arbor yesterday, Jamie and I were talking, and she was asking me, do you have any idea what's going on? And I said, I don't. I said, I've been doing a lot of internal analysis. I've been thinking a lot, which of course is contributing to my not sleeping. I've been thinking a lot. Am I worried about empty nesting? And I'm not, because my wife is still the person I'd rather spend time with more than anybody else on this planet. Yes, I miss the chaos. And yes, I miss Mia being home all the time. And I miss Maddie being home all the time, even though she's been gone for less than 48 hours. But I'm not worried about that. Am I worried about Maddie being able to navigate the complications of the University of Michigan, of college? No. Logically, I'm not, because I've seen what this young woman has been able to accomplish with little to no help over the last 4 years. Am I worried about the fact that, or the recognition of the fact that Mia and Maddie have already spent the time that they're going to spend in our house? Most of the rest of their lives are not going to be with Jamie and me. And while that makes me sad, I don't think that's what's going on here either. I don't know what's happening. I'm guessing it's a blip. I'm guessing it is a brief moment in time. What I know is I'm armed with some tools. I'm going to keep exercising. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to talk to Jamie. I'm going to talk to Mia. I'm going to talk to Maddie. I'm going to talk to my buddy Andy. I'm going to talk to a mental health professional, because in all likelihood, she's dealt with exactly this kind of concern before. As leaders, we spend so much time appropriately helping other people. It's what so many of us sort of almost have a pathological need to do. We have to make sure in those moments where we need help that we ask for it. Most of us are not capable of digging out of whatever hole, however small or large it happens to be, by ourselves. There are people who are expert. There are tactics, there are techniques, there are tools each and every one of us can use. But in order for us to do that, it is incumbent upon us to give ourselves the grace to understand that it's okay to not be okay. That it's okay to ask for the help that so many people are afraid to ask for. Folks, thanks so much for listening. I actually feel a little bit better just having had the opportunity to verbalize what I just verbalized for the last few minutes. So right now I'm going to get up, I'm going to head back to the pantry, and I'm going to grab that half full bag of hers pub style pretzels, because that's Maddie and my favorite snack. In the meantime, thanks so much again for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for commenting. Hope to see you soon. Go Blue.